As the coronavirus pandemic persists with no definitive end in sight, one of the region's most popular events, San Diego Pride, has been canceled. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Marcella Lee.
I'm Carlo Cicchetto. This is the latest in a growing list of major events and economic drivers postponed until next year. Also today, county leaders announced 75 more confirmed cases of COVID-19 in San Diego, bringing the total to 2,087. 3 more deaths were reported for a total of 63. News 8's Richard Allen has more on new executive orders just signed by the governor, as well as the impact of so many major summer events being canceled.
Well, that's right. Just yesterday, we learned that the county fair is a no-go, and today, one of the area's most popular events in the summer, San Diego Pride, is also not happening. Many are now questioning whether Comic-Con will also eventually be canceled.
We're going to get through this.
San Diego Pride, the latest casualty of the coronavirus pandemic. The annual event, which attracts hundreds of thousands of people and injects more than $26 million into the local economy, has now been canceled.
This year's theme, Together We Will Rise. We will get through this. And when Pride comes back, it's going to be even bigger and stronger than ever.
Mayor Faulkner Thursday also launched the San Diego Arts and Culture Challenge Fund, founded with $1.25 million in private and public funds and seeking an additional $750,000 in donations to help local artistic nonprofits hit hard by COVID-19.
We urge you to please rise to this challenge to help us keep this creative sector alive, because it is the heart and soul of our region.
Also Thursday, Mayor Faulkner revealed that 2 more San Diego police officers have been diagnosed with coronavirus. While at the convention center downtown, widespread COVID-19 testing has begun of all homeless San Diegans who are currently staying there.
We've got a system in place for anyone who tests positive to be immediately isolated and then transported to a public health motel room where they will receive care and help.
This is a public health announcement.
In Chula Vista, its police department's homeless outreach team is using for the first time ever drones to communicate with those living in remote canyons, offering assistance from boxed meals and hygiene kits to health screenings. And on the state level Thursday, Governor Newsom announced expanded assistance for all food sector workers, from farmers to grocery and restaurant employees to delivery drivers.
You are essential and you're valued, and I want from the bottom of my heart to extend my deep admiration and appreciation to you.
And as part of that assistance, California is now granting 2 weeks of paid sick leave to all food sector workers if they contract coronavirus or are forced to quarantine because of COVID-19. Back to you.
All right, Richard, thanks. There are more than 32,000 coronavirus deaths here in the U.S., with more than 650,000 confirmed cases. Today, the president announced details of his administration's guidelines for states to start opening up America again. Elise Preston reports.
President Trump unveiled plans for reopening America.
My administration is issuing new federal guidelines that will allow governors to take a phased and deliberate approach to reopening their individual states.
The president says some states will reopen sooner than others. White House Task Force member Dr. Deborah Birx said the plan includes workplace measures such as temperature checks, social distancing, protective equipment, and disinfection. The 18-page guidelines do not include details governors have asked for, like how to ramp up testing or expand contact tracing. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo announced he's extending the statewide shutdown until May 15th, along with other states.
What happens after then, I don't know.
New York has seen more than 14,000 reported coronavirus deaths so far. Adele Basili-Marcus, an intensive care doctor at New York's Mount Sinai Hospital, says many patients are young with no past medical history.
This patient here, it's a pregnant patient who is unfortunately at the verge of being intubated. We're trying to save her.
The coronavirus has ripped through one of New Jersey's largest nursing homes, where police, acting on a tip, found 17 bodies in a morgue designed for 4.
I am also outraged that bodies of the dead were allowed to pile up in a makeshift morgue at the facility.
I pledge allegiance to the flag.
But while the nation struggles and looks to the future, Americans are finding new ways to show courage together. Elise Preston, New York.
In phase 3 of the government plan, public spaces such as restaurants, theaters, and sporting venues can operate under strict physical distancing protocols. Meantime, the city of Encinitas is taking beach closures to the next level. In addition to shutting down beaches and adjacent parking areas, officials have now closed all main access points for pedestrians, including a portion of Highway 101. News 8's Lamore Abrams shows us.
Health officials say beach closures are necessary to slow the spread of coronavirus, but here along Highway 101 in Encinitas, these new barricades extend far beyond the water, and some are asking if they go too far.
You can go to a grocery store, but you can't walk along the ocean.
With the beaches and boardwalks closed across San Diego, joggers, walkers, and cyclists in Encinitas were getting used to hitting the pavement along the 101 and the city's coastal rail trail.
Because isn't walking an essential need to exercise?
But with no warning, the city shut down both main pathways Thursday, lining up rows upon rows of barricades. People even complaining of deputies writing tickets to anyone watching the sunset from inside their parked cars.
If you keep cutting off the places where we walk and exercise, we're going to keep getting tighter together.
The city mayor didn't give a reason for the additional measures, and while many are getting the just stay at home message,
I understand it, and this is a very dangerous virus.
It appears beachgoers everywhere are finding alternate routes to take in the ocean breeze in the pandemic.
We have people coming down from all over the place.
Harley Rose says after weeks of gloomy and rainy weather, the sunshine is too tempting for people to resist parking in her La Jolla neighborhood.
Bikers, runners, kids, everyone playing in the streets now, and it's just as dangerous.
You on the bike, you need to move, sir.
As authorities and lifeguards comb the beaches,
Parks, walkways, sidewalks, benches, parking lots are all closed to the public.
and now the streets.
Keep moving.
Richie Corbello and Thomas Pfeiffer set up beach chairs on a sidewalk across from Wind and Sea Beach.
I'm just here to enjoy whatever I can enjoy without breaking any rules.
Speaking of breaking rules, maybe you should move your chair about 3 feet.
Oh, that's right.
Accidents officials want to prevent, but will stricter closures last into the summer? Back in Encinitas, the mayor says it's yet to be determined.
If there's groups of 20 or more or 10 or more or whatever, break them up, but don't kick everybody off of, Southern California.
And just a reminder that anyone caught visiting area beaches could be slapped with a misdemeanor subject to a $1,000 fine.
Thanks, Lamore. For the fourth straight week, millions of Americans filed for unemployment. There were more than 5 million new claims this week. That brings the total over the last month to nearly 22 million people. The job losses have moved beyond the service industries and are now affecting white-collar workers as well. 20 times more San Diegans right now are out of jobs compared to this time last year. That, according to the San Diego Workforce Partnership. Workforce says nearly 50,000 San Diego workers have lost their jobs in the last 6 weeks. In the same time period, more than 600,000 Californians have applied for unemployment. Meantime, today, the Poway City Council unanimously approved a $2 million relief fund for small businesses in the city. Qualified businesses with fewer than 50 employees can get up to $50,000 to pay their workers rent or other bills. They'll have to begin paying back the loans 3 months after the local state of emergency is lifted.
A man charged with fraud for selling what he allegedly called a coronavirus cure is scheduled to be arraigned in federal court tomorrow. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office, Jennings Staley began advertising COVID-19 treatment packs last month. The physician who operates Skinny Beach Med Spa in Carmel Valley allegedly claimed that the treatment could render people immune to the virus for at least 6 weeks. Staley is accused of selling a family pack of 4 treatments for nearly $4,000. A sailor from the USS Theodore Roosevelt who died of coronavirus complications has been identified as a San Diego man. 41-year-old Chief Petty Officer Charles Thacker died Monday at the U.S. Naval Hospital in Guam 4 days after he was found unresponsive during a medical check. Thacker's spouse, who's also an active duty member of the Navy, was flown to Guam and was at his side when he died. As of tonight, 6 sailors from the Roosevelt have been hospitalized for COVID-19 symptoms.
A big thank you from one group of heroes to another. Tonight, several East County fire and police departments gave a hero's salute to healthcare workers at Grossmont Hospital as they left or arrived for their shift. They were greeted with signs, applause, and a lot of flashing lights. Hospital workers say they definitely felt the love.
It's very amazing to have these heroes out here, everyday heroes, recognizing our team for doing heroic things. We're very much appreciated and, like I said, very humbled by their token of gratitude towards us.
The first responders said it was the least they could do to show their appreciation for all that the healthcare workers are going through right now.